What do you do when your parents buy a house with exactly one guest room, but also want a home gym, playroom, and maybe some floor space to actually walk? Well, if you're me, you build them a bed that vanishes into a cabinet. Let me show you how. I used the adjustable queen bed kit from Create a Bed. Honestly, made the whole process so much less intimidating. It comes with the full cut list, instructions, and bless them, the templates to drill all the hardware. So there's no guessing, no math meltdowns, nothing to cause problems. I started by cutting all the wood to size using the included plans. I used a mix of solid wood, pine, and 3/4 inch plywood sheets. And again, the instructions will tell you exactly what you need. Then I used the Create a Bed templates to drill the hardware. All I had to do was cut it out, line it up, trace, and make sure I knew exactly where the hole was going to be so I could drill. I used a Forstner bit to drill the hole, and the template and the instructions will tell you how deep you need to drill and where you need to put all the hardware that they provide so that it's really nice and sturdy. I started by installing the hardware for the pivoting legs first. My biggest tip is to keep a square on the hardware when you're drilling to make sure the hardware is straight when you install it. Next up is mounting the lower ball stud plate and the female pivot. For the female pivot, you're going to drill a 1-inch diameter hole all the way through the plywood. And make sure for the lower ball stud plate that it's flush with the end of the bed. But again, this is all in the template, so it really does make it easy. After the hardware for the side rails are installed, then you'll go to the cabinet verticals. First, you'll install the bed stop and then the adjustable upper ball stud plate. And to do this, instead of using a router, I just used a Forstner bit, and then I marked with painter's tape exactly how deep I needed to drill it. And then I just chiseled it out with a chisel, so it was a perfect fit. Then you'll drill a 5/8 inch hole for the male pivot plate. And you repeat the same process again on the other cabinet vertical. Again, everything is in the instructions, clearly explained. Then it's time to build the headboard. There needs to be a 1/2 inch of space between the bottom of the headboard. So I just used a 1/2 inch piece of wood that I had lying around and put it right underneath it before I screwed in from the sides. I used spack screws for this entire build because you really don't need to pre-drill, so it made the whole process really, really fast. And just when everything was going swimmingly, I realized I picked the wrong plywood. The grain was showing way too much, and I knew if I painted it, it was just gonna look awful. So I filled it with spackle multiple times before I primed it. I'm sure I did 3 or 4 coats of spackle. I don't even remember at this point. I just know it was a lot, but luckily it ended up being super smooth when I applied the paint. Then I took all the wood over to my parents and built the inner wood bed frame first. This is the part that will hold the actual mattress. So you'll start out by building 5 inner frame struts, and then you'll connect them to the frame sides with screws. Making sure they're spaced 20 inches apart. Then you'll screw in the head rail, foot rail, and the side rails. I would suggest before this point to make sure all the hardware is removed because it makes it so much easier. And I would definitely apply the edge banding here too if you want to hide those plywood edges. I waited till the last minute and I definitely regret it. The face panels are the part where it actually starts looking like a cabinet. It's very important to make sure there's a 1/4 inch on each side that goes past the bed frame, and you'll mark this. I just used a square to mark it. And for this part, you'll use screws and glue to make sure the face panels are attached firmly to the bed frame. Then it's time to assemble the cabinet. This creative bed mechanism is no joke. It's the highest quality patent protected mechanism on the market, and that's exactly why I chose it. It's also made in Kentucky, and they have a group of team members right there to answer any questions along the way. So it's like your own DIY helpers. They'll talk you through the process, help you troubleshoot, and make sure you don't spiral when you're elbow deep in sawdust. After putting on the hardware, then it was time to screw in the headerboard and attach it to the wall. I definitely needed my dad's help on this one, so thanks, Dad! And I screwed the headboard into the studs. Once the main structure was in, I added trim to give it that built-in look. Then came the paint touch-ups because of course I nicked it about 100 times. And finally, I added handles so the bed looks like a stylish cabinet when it's closed. The mechanism is fully adjustable so you can fine-tune the tension until the bed opens like it's floating. Now this room works overtime. A gym, a playroom, a guest bed, and the bed disappears when it's not needed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you found this video helpful, and check out the link in the description so you can build your own Murphy bed with Create-A-Bed.